Welcome back to Relax Radio, Relaks, and look who we got in the studio today, and he's wearing red.
Yes, it's me. It's Kevin. Yes, I've got on one of my famous cycling shirts, Nick. I don't know, and I've just been told I've got to cover it up. The reason being is it's got green sleeves. Apparently, in the studio, the green sleeves they make me look as if I've got no arms. So if I pull it back down,
yeah, it does make it look like you are a magician.
I'm pretty old. So, what are we doing today? We're going to talk about magic or what?
Oh, we're going to be talking about a lot of things.
Kevin with no arms. There you go.
What I'm noticing right now is our colors that we're really contrasting today. It's like I'm blue and you're red today. What's happening with that? Like, what are the odds?
Well, the jacket I've got on, because it's very, as you know, it's very warm, quite hot, in fact. And the jacket I'm wearing is a waterproof jacket, which I always keep in my saddlebag in case it starts pouring with rain. And but now I'm sweating hot, but I've had to put it on because my arms have disappeared. But now you can see my arms are here. So
I can see that it's waterproof. I got something that always bothered me. It's always been on my mind. What do you do when it's raining, right? When it's a heavy sort of rain and you're cycling and you have your waterproof jacket on? What about your shoes? Won't those get soaked up?
What are the issues with wearing a waterproof jacket? Well, it's quite funny, really, because the waterproof jacket, yes, it does what it says on the tin. It keeps you quiet. But on the other hand, if you're wearing a waterproof jacket and the weather is like it is now, it's warm, hot. They're like it's like being a bag of boiling a bag of rice. You know, they make you really sweat. So you're not getting soaking wet from the rain, but when you take the jacket off, you're soaking wet through sweat. So sometimes, depending on how heavy the rain is, sometimes I think, I won't bother putting it on because I'm going to get soaked either way. So,
I mean, if you think about it, it does. There's been scientifically backed proof that if you wear, jackets and stuff like that during the heat, you can lose weight. And taking a look at things, I think you kind of do need that a little bit. No, I'm just poking fun of you. I'm not body shaming anybody. If you guys are listening in and you're thinking we're body shaming you, no, definitely not. I love Kevin. He knows that.
Yeah.
And if you want to be part of the show, hit us up. You know the numbers, 07852473473. Hit us up with any kind of comments or thoughts you guys might be having at this point. So we'll definitely be talking about all things that is going on.
Yeah.
And how was your week though? How's your week been, Kevin? How's everything going on so far?
It's been quite busy again, which I'm quite pleased about. Because I like earning money, like we all do. We all love earning money, don't we?
Oh, who doesn't like a little green in their life?
I didn't have a particularly good day on last Saturday. It seemed that from the moment I got out of bed, it seemed that everything I did went wrong, or pear-shaped, as we call it.
Oh, why is that?
Constantly arguing with people over different issues. Things going wrong, and the day ended up. I was cycling home, and I was going downhill. Squeezed my brakes to slow down and stop. Brake snapped. My front brake.
Oh no!
So that put me into battle stations. I was over the place on the road, and it's quite a steep road I was on at the time.
Okay.
My knee made acquaintance with a parked car's bumper. So.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It was.
Are you okay though? Were you okay afterwards?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. Luckily, I've got another knee, so.
I don't think that's how knees work, Kevin. In case you didn't get the memo.
Got a right knee, so. Easy does it.
I mean, there are days. There's gonna be days like that where you wake up sometimes and you feel you just don't feel right. You don't feel like it's right and it's correct, and it feels off. You get those days where you feel like, hey, it's just not that day. I mean, particularly right now, I've been having days, those particular days where I wake up and I'm like, today is not gonna be my day. I mean, that mindset is not that greatest. It's not something I encourage, but you just have those days, where you feel down and it dumps. It just happens. Like when you wake up and no, here we go again. It's going to be a very, very, very great day. Emphasis on the great.
Yeah, I think it stemmed from the day before, the Friday.
Okay.
Pouring rain, as you know. It was pouring with rain. The weather was absolutely lousy. You couldn't do anything because of the rain. All work was cancelled because of the rain. And then so I had a pretty miserable Friday. I did get quite a bit done, actually. I had some computer doing that. I got that done, which was handy.
All right.
I just got up Saturday morning and I just, you get that feeling. You get that feeling. It's going to be one of those days.
Yes, I know that very well.
And it was, as my father would say, it was one to forget. So it's past me now. It's gone.
I like to think, when we get these kind of days, when the days are not the greatest, I'd like to think, where we sit down and we think of what are the good things that have happened so far. I'm a guy who likes to reminisce in a way, because in case you're wondering, I'm a little bit of a philosopher. I like to think of, a lot of things in life. That's just how it is, I guess. Why are you laughing? I mean, you're smiling, you're looking at me, and you must be rolling your eyes inside. You're like, yeah, this guy.
Yeah. Anyway, let's put Saturday behind us now. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's one to forget. It's on. It's in the dustbin. How about it? So, what I've been doing, Nick, doing. I like my little bits of research. You probably found that out the last couple of weeks, and I've done some research. Here it is. Pages of it.
Yeah.
Pages of research. Okay. And there's something that crossed my mind. I thought I'd have a look at that.
Okay.
There's a place I go, funny enough, on Saturdays. Not every Saturday.
Okay.
I go there, and it's a place, we call it the cycle hub or the bike hub. And what we do there, we repair bicycles, mostly free.
I gathered that from the name, the bike hub.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit blonde, that, wasn't it? Well, I'm blonde then. So, yeah. Right, okay. Right. I've lost my train now. Right, okay. So I did a bit of research. And what me to this research was people go over there and we've got a small selection of second-hand bikes that we sell.
All right.
These second-hand bikes, before we sell them on, we don't just get them and sell them. Before they're sold on, they are thoroughly checked over. Right? They're thoroughly checked, Nick. And basically what that means, if we've got a bike there and it needs new parts, we replace the parts. Say the bike has got a brake missing, for example. We will replace the brake. We will not sell a bike that's faulty. So we'll replace the brake. If it needs a new chain, we replace the chain. If it needs a wheel, for example, one of the wheels is badly buckled. A good bike, the wheel's buckled. We replace the wheel. So all these things that we've replaced on these different bikes is reflected in the price, because it's like virtually a non-profit organisation, minimal profit made. So people come to us and they say, for example, I want to buy a bike for my son.
All right.
Or in their version, their language, I want a bike for me boy. Right? Cockney. So
I was gonna say Cockney. It sounds like a typical Cockney accent right there.
So you look at the boy, and you think, right, 24-inch wheel would do that boy.
All right.
So then we look in our shed. We've got a range of bikes, 24-inch wheels. We get them out. We say, right, we've got that bike, that bike, that bike. So then it starts. How much is that bike? You have a look. £80.
Okay.
Now they go, £80? oh, I'll give you 65 for it. Well, no, I'm sorry, it's £80. If you went to a bike, like say Health, am I allowed to say it? A bike shop, a big,
All right.
reputable bike shop. I won't say the name. I nearly did.
Okay.
Right. So I go to a big retail shop or something, and I want to buy a bike, and it says on the ticket £80. Well, you're going to pay £80. You're not going to barter for it, are you?
I mean, there's a reason why there's a price tag on that.
Yes, but when they come to us, everyone, they want to barter, and they don't realise that the price reflects the cost of the new parts, the chain, the wheel, the brakes, the saddle, perhaps the handlebars, whatever, and the price is reflected on the cost of those new parts, you know. And they always want to barter. They always want to knock the price down, you know. And it just got to me, and I thought, why do they do that? So I got my thinking cap on, and I did some research about bartering.
All right.
I'll read you out a few facts if you like. May I?
Oh, you may. You definitely can. Tell me something about bartering.
Right. This could take a long time. Right. Right. It says in my research I did, Nick, the history of bartering could be traced back to roughly 6,000 BC.
Oh, wow. That is a very long time. People have been swindling other people and trying to barter for cheaper prices way back when. Wow, that's crazy stuff.
And it says it dates back from that time. Okay. And it was, where are we? It was used, and it said various tribes, when they started this bartering, they would basically, they would trade things like food, animal skins, weapons and spices.
All
and
right.
Trade them in for goods or services that they wanted, like in return, if you like. You know?
All right, that's interesting. Yeah, okay.
They would barter. Okay. And then you go on. That, as I say, that started roughly around 6,000 BC. Okay. And then further on in my research, it said about the start of the barter trade. And it said one of the main items used for bartering during the start of the trade was salt. Now,
why salt though?
Salt, yeah. In ancient times, salt actually was worth quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
The Romans eventually went on to pay wages using salt.
Wait, you lost me with that. The Romans would.
But they're people building now big empires and everything. You know.
Okay.
They would pay the workers with salt.
Wow,
Okay.
You can't even imagine that.
Yeah, and if you've ever heard of a saying, it says someone is worth their salt. That is where it comes on. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, okay, I did.
He's worth his salt. That's where it comes from, Nick.
Oh, whoa! That I did not know that. Yay! Yeah. That is crazy stuff. We always use those terms like because we don't really know the back history of these terms. We just use it offhandedly, in comments and conversations. But we never really got down to the history of that particular phrase right there. That is pretty interesting. Yeah. Every man's worth his grain of salt. Yeah, I've heard that.
It was quite fascinating looking it up. This looking through this. This bartering, and then it went on. It said during the Middle Ages, between the 5th and the 15th century,
the
trade became even more popular because then things were beginning to move more around the world. Got me, Nick? Yeah. So then you'd have countries bartering between each other.
All right.
Okay. And then also, go on, he said the barter trade grew in popularity during the Great Depression of 1929.
All right. The barter trade. All right.
Where obviously Great Depression, so things were, lots of commodities were scarce.
Yeah.
Some people had no money.
Yeah.
So they would barter. They would barter for different goods or services. you know. And it says during this period, it allowed people to gain access to food and clothing, which they simply did not have the money for. Okay.
I mean, it's interesting because when we think about bartering, even nowadays, even in this current time period, this age that we are in, there are communities, if you check in African countries as well, where they do a lot of these bartering as well, where they barter with food and then they do a lot of trading. So that's how communities started. Right now, what we are doing is we're following a very different kind of bartering, and it involves money. Back then, it's you give something and you get something in return. It's trading, straight up trading. So when you trade for something, it should be the equal value of what you're trading in for. But now we're revolving around a single piece of paper, and it has so much value. And you can see people, crying for this, and it's crazy, how this whole thing evolved from bartering to money. If you learn,
yeah, absolutely right. And it says, like on my notes here, it says the Great Depression is an excellent example of how bartering as a system can allow communities and societies to work together in order to gain what they need. Yeah. And it goes on to say there are many countries today where the barter trade is still used, particularly in countries around Southeast and Central Asia. And it says that in the 21st century, it says now you can actually barter online now, which I never knew. You can actually barter online.
All right.
So I don't know. There's different sites where you can, if you've got something to sell.
Okay.
I don't. You could do that. You see them on TV. You hear it a lot on radios and everything, where there's different companies and you can put goods up for sale. So obviously somewhere there, I've not done it myself personally, but there must be different sites on the internet where you can actually barter. So I
wonder what it is you can barter. That's the real question. I want to know. I mean, you can barter, fine, but what is it? I mean, it's not like when we were kids, we had these, I don't know, when I was a kid, all right, when I was growing up, we had these wrestling cards, you would barter with other kids and be like, okay, I want this photo of John Cena. You give me that photo of this, wrestler. Give me, let's trade. And, it's different right now. This bartering, what does it really involve? Like, what can you barter with this online bartering right now in the 21st century? What can we barter now?
Yeah, I might look into that actually. It's a bit intriguing for me because I remember when I was a child, used to collect cards, small cards, and and you take them to school. You'd have them all in your short or something. You have a set of cards, and usually football players or cyclists or boxers or something like that. And you've got all these different like sporting people. Oh, I haven't got that goalkeeper, and then but you've got that centre forward, and so you swap the cards up,
Yeah, it was very popular growing up,
and things like that. I suppose that's bartering, isn't it? I suppose, but
I mean, where do we draw the line when it comes to bartering, though? Because I have a sibling, I have a younger brother actually. When he was, I think it was 12, 13. He started like 12, I think. Yeah, when he was 12, he started, trading in these kind of cards. And when you think of trading, it sounds pretty harmless. When you're thinking, oh, he's just exchanging cards. It's a little cute little thing, that small children do. But what really shocked me, rather, and took me aback was when my brother came home 3 months later with a brand new phone. And I asked him, where did you get that money? He was like, oh, no, I buy these cards for this much. I go to school and I sell it for this. I'm like, you sell things in school. That is the prime, in my opinion, that's the prime of bartering. I mean, he went in there, he got it for so and so, and he sold it off, and he took a profit from that, and he bought a phone. I mean,
wow, that's it. Oh yeah,
and I am not making this up. I know it took me aback. Even my father asked, he's like, where did you get the money? Did you work and you buy him a phone? I'm like, do I look like I can afford a phone right now?
Yeah, clever. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, your brother will have to give me some tips, I think, Nick.
I know. I mean, I'm telling you, he could be the next Steve Jobs in the future.
Yeah. And anyway, when I went like researched this bartering, the system,
All right.
works, where it's worked, where it's popular now, etc.
All right.
Come across a bit that says, where does the last name Barter come from? Okay, so I'll read out this bit. It's a little paragraph. It's not that big. Where does the last name Barter come from? The surname is derived from the Old French word barat, which means commerce or dealings. Okay,
Interesting. Okay.
and it is a derivative of the verb barata. I hope I've said that right. Or barata, or no, barata, Barater, which means
Okay.
haggle. Right? So barata means to haggle.
Haggle.
The surname Barter is also a nickname type of surname for a quarrelsome person. So if me and you fall out, pal, I'm going to start calling you a Barter. All right?
Or
What?
yeah, we always have our
I'm going to start calling you a Barter, a quarrelsome person. Okay.
I mean, look, bartering for me, what I feel like when it comes to bartering things, and you know how they try to get the price down for a lot of these things. In other words, in very simple layman terms, haggling. Yeah, that is also something that is going on. Like, you know, they try to haggle you with the prices. For example, your bicycles that you want to sell for a particular price, right? You don't see them trying to go and try to barter with a famous, you know, food store, a chain store, like a very famous brand of stores, or all of that. I don't see you going out to, you know, a shoe store and try to barter with them and say, okay, I need this price. Okay, so you're giving me these exclusive shoes. I'm gonna barter. This is how much I can offer. This is how much I'm giving. You don't see them doing that. They see the price tag. They know what they're going into, and they buy it. So why, like, when it comes to cycling and these kind of things, why do people get the impression they think they can barter for things like this? And why don't they do this, especially when it comes to these, you know, very big brands like food stores, these famous chain food stores? Why don't we do that for them? Why don't we barter our prices there? Oh, it's 20 pounds. Okay, why isn't it 10? I can give you 10. I've never seen anyone in a line say that.
Yeah, can you imagine it being at a supermarket? You go up nowadays. Most of the supermarkets, they've got like they're gradually, which I totally disagree with. They're gradually getting rid of their staff, checkout staff. You know, and
Oh, yes.
scan everything. Can you imagine it? You go beep, wait at the side, beep, side, beep, side, beep, and then you get your price. You think, how much? Oh, no, call over a supervisor. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying £35 for them shopping. I'll give you 20. How about that?
But
They're going to take everything off you. Call security. You're going to get frog marks out of the supermarket, and then some poor soul's got to put all the goods back on the shelves. You know,
that
mental.
they are trying that. I've seen one I think in the United States. I think it was Amazon that tried to do something like that. Yeah, was it Amazon? I can't remember. A big chain store that tried to do something like that. All right, and the thing when they try to do it, I see a lot of these jokes. You know how these people, they say they are trying to cut off on the working staff, and then there's going to be, it's like they're cutting off on the working staff, and you're going to be working for these companies. Essentially, the moment you walk in there, you're a worker, because you're going and picking out your own things. You're scanning it, and it's going out of your pocket, and then you're going out home. So people,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you wonder. I mean, what is the way these things work right now, the 21st century? People also are losing? I feel like people will be losing their jobs in the very coming future right now, especially with the technology that is coming up and with the pandemic situation across the world. Social distancing is very important right now. Like you can see, there are new cases also, you know, rising up with the Indian variant or the Delta variant, whatever names they call it. I mean, they're giving it so many different names now. I just don't care anymore. I'm at that point where, you know, I'm tired of it. And in the morning, you wake up in the news. Okay, the World Health Organization decided to call it the Delta variant. Oh, Will me. Yeah, I'm like, why? Like, just keep it as it is. No, we have to professionally name it. We have to label it, categorize it, taxidermy, all of that. I'm like, why though?
Why do it? Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, on the talk of bartering, Nick, yeah, where it originate, or the French word, the surname, okay? And it made me do a little bit of more researching. And I
Okay.
some names. I thought different names.
All
So
right.
I turn my sheet over. There we go. And I've got some names. Right. So I looked up some people's names.
All right.
What Ed with yours?
I was fearing the worst. Oh wow.
You barter, you. Right. Now I looked up the word or the name Nick, right?
All
And
right.
it didn't give me a definition as such, but basically the name Nick is a short form of Nicholas or Dominic.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a short name. Nick, according to my research, is just a short name for Dominic or Nicholas. Okay.
I'd like to argue though, the name Nicholas, for me, it feels like it came out of Saint Nicholas. You know, that's how the name came. Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus. I'm Santa Claus.
No, you don't look nothing like Santa Claus, mate.
I mean, just because I don't grow a beard doesn't mean I'm not Santa Claus. I mean, I'm having the belly.
You see that, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've got a bit of a belly, but if I breathe in, my bum sticks out, so I'll stay as I am, you know. But anyway,
All right.
I looked up Nick, right? Or I'll call you Santa now. You've started a president there, mate. Right.
Oh, no.
Right. So of course, then I looked up my own name,
Okay.
and I quite like this one.
Of course you will. This is
like
your name.
Kevin, right? It's a Gaelic name, obviously.
All right.
You know, my name's Kevin Michael Foley, so I'm English 100%, but you can't get more Irish than Kevin Michael Foley, can you? Goodness sake. Anyway, my name means the little handsome one. Okay?
Okay, we got the little down. Handsome. Well, that's something I can contest. Yeah. It's a little far off the mark.
With me, mate, or I'll be back to the barter. Yeah. So I'm the little handsome one, right? Then I looked up some more names. I looked up my best friend's name. Her name's Anissa.
All
and
right.
her means pleasant companion. That's what her name is.
Okay.
And it was quite funny because we were speaking on the phone the other night, and I said, "Oh, I've looked up the meaning of your name." I was telling her what I was going to talk about on the radio
All
today.
right. All right.
I said to her, "Would you like to know what your name means?" And she said, "Yes, please." So I had to go from one room through into the other room, nearly broke my neck because the room where I do my research, I've got a computer in now, and it's also
All right.
doubles as the junk room. And you take your life in your hands walking in now because you're liable to trip over something fall on your head. Anyway, I walked in now, I got my notes, and I went back in the other room where I can get like the better phone reception.
All right.
Where I live, the phone reception. And I said, "Right, are you there, Anissa? Your name means pleasant companion." And she said, "Yes, I know.
Wow.
Yes, I know." Why did you make me nigh on break my neck?
At least say thank you.
Tell you what your name is, and she just started laughing. Oh, I thought that was, typical woman. Yeah.
I was going to say typical. I mean, they do that sometimes. Not to get too out of it, but yeah, they do that. I think they get the kicks out of it.
I told her. It also said that her lucky number. She has a lucky number. It's number 9.
All right.
So I told her next time you get a scratch card, because occasionally she gets a scratch card, and
Okay.
I said you have to scratch, see if you've got a number 9 on it, or you might win something. I said only Anissa, scratch it on the correct side. So I was with her once, and I give her a scratch card, and she turned it upside down and started scratching it, and said, "Kevin, nothing's happening. You're scratching the wrong side of the card." Got me?
All right.
And when I told her, I said, "You idiot, you're supposed to turn it over and scratch it." She couldn't stop laughing. So And she couldn't stop laughing the other night when I reminded her. But anyway, that. I also, Nick, looked into the names of some of the office staff in the studio.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So,
all right.
Roshana. Yes, Roshana. You know Roshana, don't you? I know we work in studios.
Yeah.
You know Roshana. Roshana, the name Roshana means shining light.
Oh, she is definitely a shining light in our darkness.
Which I always thought she was a shining light until she said, "Hurry up, Kevin, you've got 5 minutes before you're on air." Oh, okay. Yeah, she was taking a dim. She wasn't shining. She was taking a dim view, I think. Yeah. So anyway, that's Roshana. Then we have Hafsa.
All right.
And Hafsa, and I quite agree with this, means little lioness.
Oh.
So I'm not going to with Hafsa, because if I do, she's liable to eat me. So I'm not going to dabble with her. And there's another lovely lady in the office. Her name's Cynthia. Right? I looked up Cynthia.
Okay.
She told me where she lives. I can't believe where she lives. But she said, don't mention it on air, so I won't. A long way away. And she commutes all the way into the studio. Amazing. Anyway, I couldn't find a meaning for her name. But what it says, what kind of things Cynthias like to do. Right?
All right.
I like this, Nick. It says, many Cynthias enjoy sports, video games, and other guy-type things. So, sport, video games, and things that guys do, which is a bit intriguing. But also, she likes to go shopping, get her nails done, and have girl times.
Okay, now I am just questioning the credibility of that site you took this from.
Yeah, I'm a bit. Oh, you know Cynthia, do you? Yeah. yeah. She likes. Well, that's typical woman, isn't it? She likes to go shopping and get her nails done. Yeah.
But then, like you said, there is also a little bit of an element of male, what boys like. I mean, there's a lot of things that boys like. I'm not gonna talk about that on air, but
well, personally, I don't get my nails done. I don't know if you do.
Wow. I'm not even talking about that. Terrible. But
and there was some other names I looked up. There's someone I know. Her name's Swapna, and her name means dreamy or dreamlike.
Oh, right? Trance-like, I think. Yeah, trance. She puts you in a trance the moment you look at her.
Yeah. Well, I've seen her in a trance, but I think it means. And then I looked up my daughter's name, Kerry. And that's another Gaelic name, by the way, Kerry. And her name means black or darkness. Right? So I'm a bit harsh because my daughter's a very, very nice, sociable person. She's lovely. But it says the name Kerry is often given to babies with dark hair.
Oh. So does she have that hair?
I can't remember when she was born, and I looked at her and I thought, right, she's a Kerry, But dark hair.
I like how the naming of people come like, okay, you're John. You're definitely John. You look like a little John right there.
Yeah. He's a Nick. He's a Nick because he's a problem. Baby's crying its head off. Yeah, he's a quarrelsome person. He's a Nick.
Wow, terrible.
Or a Barter.
I can't help it. So I was born with this name. I didn't get to choose it.
Yeah, and there's one name I looked at. Is someone I was working with today, Fiona, and her name Fair. So I don't know. And after I told her I looked up your name and it means fair, she said, "Yeah, I know. I looked it up as well." So, I don't think that was very fair, really, but there you go. Okay.
Terrible. But yeah, I mean, namings aside, though, it's funny, how for me, I've been having this thought in my head some days where I sit down and I think the words that we say, how do you understand what I'm saying right now? The words that I'm formulating right now and telling you and, expressing it in a language that you can understand too. doesn't it get you? Doesn't it bother you sometimes? Like, okay, we are just animals making sounds. Like other animals make sounds. I mean, it's not like they understand what they're trying to say. So how is it we can form these sentences? Sometimes people think, okay, what are you living off on? People question me. They ask, what are you going on off? I'm like, I'm living life, and I just want to know this question, this deep, intriguing question. How do you understand what I'm trying to say? The words that we are saying, like language. For instance, language, there's how many, 200,000 languages. I feel like there's hundreds of thousands of languages in the world right now. And how is it that we can understand, like, that is a different language? Like, for me, it's a crazy concept, thinking that, how humans made these words up. And, like you said, your friend's name was Fiona. It means fair. How do we come to that conclusion that name it means that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like going back to my friend Anissa, her name, Pleasant Companion. And she told me, after I nearly broke my neck getting my research in the other room.
All right.
Oh, yes, I know. She said, because when she was little, her parents were always telling her, your name is Anissa, and you have to be a pleasant companion. So, I mean, thanks for letting me know after I broke my neck. Yeah, thanks for that. You pleasant companion, you. But anyway.
And if you're listening in, please ignore Kevin. He's just being Kevin.
Oh, and while I'm there, while I think of it, Nick, can I have a little shout out? A school I was working at when was I there? On Monday. There's a school going, Manor Sandringham it's called. It's in Barking where I live. Yeah?
Okay.
And I go in now every Monday, or most Mondays, and I teach some special needs children on their bicycles. It's quite rewarding seeing how they couldn't sit on a bike. As I say, they're special needs. They need help.
Yeah, I understand.
And got them riding. And of course, it's being special needs. They come out with a helper, or I say an assistant. I should say a helper, an assistant. Okay. So it's out to Miss Frankie, who works at Anna Sandringham School, who brings out the children to me every Monday. She brings them out, takes them back in, then she brings out the next group. Yeah. And I was telling her, I said, I started doing a radio program. I said, I do it on Thursdays with a man named Nick.
All right.
Who's a bit of a barter, but there you go.
Wow. You're not going to let this guy.
I'm picking on you today, mate. I'm picking on you today. And she said, oh, that's nice, Kevin. And then I was chatting to her, this Miss Frankie, and then she said, you remind me of my dad. And I quite had to take that. I suppose it could have been worse. You could have said you remind me of my granddad, but there you go.
I mean, yeah, you could have been worse. Yeah. It could have been worse. You could have just said, you remind me of my ex-husband. Oh.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, I'll get me coat. Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway.
But it is rewarding, though, thinking about helping special needs children. I mean, it's altruism at its best, I'd like to think, because, we take a lot of things for granted when we come down to it. We take the things that we do for granted, and then we don't really realize there are other people, these little things that they do, it means the world to them. I mean, for us, riding a cycle, it's not a big deal. We think, just nothing. It's just another day in the wilderness that is called life. But, these children, they ride on their cycles. They must feel something different. It must be very exhilarating feeling for them. That's what I'd like to think.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. The job satisfaction, Nick, from doing that, and you see the smile on their face because they've achieved it.
That's the best feeling.
Like a certificate or something. And Miss Frankie would come over and she'll take their picture with their certificate.
Oh, that's so sweet. That kind of melts my heart.
It's really nice, mate. Really nice.
I get why we do it also. I mean, even you do a lot of cycling as well. It's all got to do with altruism, because you do a lot of these charities and all, because these are feelings you can't really buy. They say money can buy anything, but you can't really buy feelings like this, because in the end of the day, when you look back on these things, you remember the smiles you put on these children's faces. I think that is something you can never buy.
That's right. Yeah. You can't beat that. Smile on
a
happy child's face, smiling face. Can't beat it. Can't
Yeah,
be.
you can't. I remember once, I think I went to India one time for a holiday, and we went there to a children's home one time, and the same thing. So we went to children's home in, I think it was in Chennai. So we went there, and there was a lot of these children that come in, and they've never seen a cell phone, a proper cell phone. They don't even know what a mobile looks like. And I carry this mobile. They're like, "Oh, what is that?" Like, "Hey, you just stand there. We'll take it." They look at me with this incredulous look. They're like, "What is that? What is he doing? What is that man doing?" Like, "I'm taking a picture of you guys." And it's saddening, because when you see this is the 21st century where we are living, we take these things for granted every day of life and all that. And then there's children like that. They look at these things and they're so happy. They're filled with happiness, and they see a photo for the first time, and they're saying, "Oh, this is a photo." And it warms my heart, and I think about the way, we have a lot of these problems. We think of, "Oh, we have this to do, we have that to do," but then we never really take a step back and breathe and enjoy the gifts that we've been given.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good, isn't it? That's good. Yeah. So was they photo bombing you a lot, or?
Oh, they were, and yeah, they insulted me. They teased me a lot. I mean, oh my God, those kids were terrible. I love them to bits. They're really good children, but they were just terrible. They never let me sit. Like, "Oh, come here, Nick here, Nick there. Let's do this." I'm like, wow. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Anyway, I don't. It's a bit of football fever grabbing the country at the moment, because we've got
Oh yeah.
the European Championship starting this weekend, isn't it? This coming weekend it starts. I believe England's first game is on Sunday.
It should be on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday. I'll be watching it. I'm not too worried about it.
Why
Yeah.
though? What's happening? Why not?
No, I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to watch it and that, but that the World Cup and that, in this country, it always seems that it gets built up, and then they
Hyped up. Yeah.
fail miserably. You usually get knocked out on penalty shootouts, but or dodgy decisions, and then what makes me laugh, Nick, is I don't know if it'll happen this time round because of the pandemic, but
Okay.
they used to show on TV, and there'd be places like Trafalgar Square
Okay.
and
Trafalgar Square. Yeah.
areas, and they'd have great big screens set up, and there's all these people knocking back the beer, or they've gone to a big bar, and there'd be like hundreds of people in this big, like, beer garden or something, and they've all
Okay.
beer. Now, beer's not cheap, mate.
Oh,
Beer,
it is.
you should know that, being a drinker. Yeah, beer's not.
Yeah.
Then they'll all be drinking their beer, and
Okay.
England will score a goal, and they throw it all up in the air. And I'm thinking,
That's liquid gold right there. What are they even doing? Yeah.
exactly. And they're throwing it up in the air, giving themselves beer shampoos. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on?
But I think it's all part of the celebration, that you get caught up in the hype sometimes. But when you go to these events, especially when you go in with not only you, but you go in with people you know. And when you go to these kind of places where there's, you're watching the big screen and you see them shoot a goal, you get caught up in the thrill. I'd like to say it's a different feeling also. So you don't really realize what you're doing until after you've done it. And you're like, "Oh no, I've lost a good chunk of my liquid gold." Yeah.
Well, if it was me, I'll tell you, the price of the beer nowadays, if I went into a pub, a bar, whatever you want to call it, and I paid £5 for a pint, well, I did it once actually. I went into a pub near where I live. I went there and I had a pint of lager, and it was quite.
All right.
It was £5 for a pint of lager.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
And I bought this pint of lager, and I turned round and I bumped into someone, and I spilt some of it.
Oh no.
And what done it? The person I bumped into, it was his fault. I just turned around and he's walked past, and he's hit my arm, and I've spilt a bit. He never even said sorry. And I got all this beer all down my hand, my arm, down my leg, on my shoe. I wanted to kill him. I just paid £5 for that, and I've just spilt a mouthful of it.
That feeling does happen sometimes, where it's. I mean, the things you bring up, Kevin Charo. But it's true. Yeah, there is that problem where sometimes when you go to these places, I mean, what are you gonna expect? Obviously, there's gonna be some bumping and pushing in these kind of. Whenever you go to a pub or whenever you go to these social events, there's always going to be something like this that will happen. Somebody will spill something on you, and this one time I remember, it did spill on me, and I was wearing white jeans, all right, white colored pants rather. So I was wearing these white colored pants, and wine spilled on top of my pants, and that was just the worst ever. I mean, what do you want me to do? I can't take it off. I can't take it really off. So yeah, I've been stuck with the red color pants all day, night, and that left not the greatest of impressions. Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Nick. I was talking there. I was just thinking to myself, yeah. Can you imagine it? You go to one of these beer gardens.
Right? All right.
You've paid £5 for a pint. Right, you're watching England play. And they win 8-0. Just think, you've paid £40, yeah? England's won 8-0. And each time they scored, you threw your beer up in the air. You've paid £40 and you haven't drunk a drop of it. That'd be funny, that all. I'd find
that would be crazy. I mean,
these tragic people walking out the bar with their heads down. I thought you'd be happy, England won 8-0. Yeah, but I've done 40 quid and I ain't had a drop. And their hair's soaking wet, dripping.
Yeah.
Quite funny, that.
I know. It's crazy. And in case you were wondering also, it's something that I saw recently on the news where England relegated Portugal and they put them back on the amber list. So a lot of holiday makers are rushing back home. That's crazy stuff right there. We were talking about this last week about how we should try to keep things local, and now people are regretting their choices.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of them went to. I think a lot of people from England, they went to Portugal because it was a greenless country for some time, and then the government was like, "All right, listen up, it's going to be an amber country. Y'all better come back home." And then boom. Now people are struggling. They're saying it's very frustrating. And this is what we were trying to say since the beginning. Stay home, keep it local. And now a lot of these places in the UK are packed. People are trying to do these camping sites and all of that. So it's crazy, with the situation going on. I personally prefer to stay maybe in a very quiet, quaint, maybe cozy little cottage somewhere in the wilderness, in the forest. I mean, hey, that was something I look forward to.
Yeah. See, these people, all these people who fled to Portugal for their holiday, they're all trying to flood back, all disappointed, cost them a fortune. See, at the end of the day, Nick, they should have stayed at home and listened to us too. Shouldn't they?
Exactly, because it's just not like I said. Why are you trying to run away from the country? Well, I get it. I mean, summer is there. You want to go and you want to see other places, and you want to feel the sun. But you have to understand the situation right now. And now, well, a lot of people are regret. I'm not supposed to laugh at a lot of people's misfortune, but then I'm like, serves you right. I mean, why did you even think that going to those countries was good in the first place?
I tell you what, Nick, I'm laughing at them.
You're a terrible person, Kevin.
They could have stayed here. They could have stayed here. They could have listened to us too. They could have listened to me giving pointless history lessons, extensively items, But no, they go to Portugal to sit in the sun. And here today, the current temperature is. I'm looking at my watch because it's got James. I've got an Apple Watch and.
All right.
Phone and God knows what, and I'm like, I've got a bike. I'm like James Bond, mate. And my watch currently says the temperature is 23 degrees. Earlier today, I think it was 26 or 27 degrees centigrade.
It's pretty good temperature. It's pretty good weather.
It's, if you want to sunbathe, that's the. And I'm not one for sunbathing, being like fair, fair hair, fair skin and everything. But I'm beginning to go brown. Even me. I'm beginning to go brown, Don't look like looking at my pale face on the screen there, but yeah.
But I never really understood the concept of sunbathing though. What is the point of it? Like I get, okay, fine, we get our minerals and all of that from the sun, but I feel like it's just a trend people want to do. They want to get tanner and all of that just to show off to their friends. Like, oh yeah, I was in the Bahamas last month.
Yeah.
I was in Mallorca. Check it out. Check my skin out.
Oh, go on, girl, show us your white bits, Oh, yeah, it's crazy. If I go, not that I go on holiday often, I find it too stressful, to be honest.
Where do you travel usually? What's your destination if you ever travel anywhere, like on a holiday?
I stay in the UK.
You never travel out to the EU?
I've only ever flown twice, once to Ireland, and once I went to Venice. I think I said this, mentioned this the other week. Yeah,
you did.
I'm on a budget airline. That's probably what put me off flying. But when I've gone on holiday, I usually holiday in the UK. And once I've got into my apartment, room, whatever, chalet, then unwind, and I want to do things. I want to see things. I don't want to spend all day lying on my back.
That is true.
I don't tan. I just go red and peel.
Speaking of flights, also, it reminded me of this one trip I went once to the Middle East. Was it from the UK? I was traveling to the Middle East. I remember that one time, and it was. Let's say, since you're talking about budget flights, I'll tell you how budget this flight was that I was going in. Okay, I was in this pretty popular airlines in the Middle East, and we were traveling all the way, and we had a stop that a transit flight. And as we were going in that flight, I'm telling you, I look at the window, and to my left is the airplane wing, right? I'm looking at the wing, and I see that there is like a contraption coming out of it, and it's shaking, it's trembling, and I'm trembling. I'm like, any moment now, any moment is going to be my last. And at the same moment, at that same time, we get the captain buzzes in, and he's like, be ready for some slight turbulence. And then boom, the whole flight is just shaking. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make it. It reminds me of that movie, Final Destination. I don't know if you've watched that movie. I was like, okay, I'm going to die. Oh no. Why did I even want to go to the Middle East? Oh no, terrible. And the plane, that's the funny thing. I could see a screw coming out of that flight. It was scary. Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh dear. That is scary stuff, mate. That is scary stuff.
Imagine 8 hours, 7 hours in the flight is just trembling like this. And the pilot, all he does to say is, yes, we are going through some slight turbulence today. Make sure you fasten your seatbelts. And that's it. He's so calm about it. How do you stay so calm when the whole flight is going up and down? And it's crazy.
Yeah, was it? I remember that on one of my budget flights, and I was obviously nervous because I hadn't flown, and that's what happened to me. Something similar, and I was in the toilet at the time.
Okay.
So the plane started sort of juddering about a bit, and then it came over. This is the captain speaking. We're going through some turbulence. Oh no! I've never got out of the toilet so quick in my life. I tell you. I'm pulling my trousers up. Yeah, I've got some funny looks, but never mind.
I mean, flights right now, like I said, but I think right now, although people want to travel and all of that, when it comes to traveling right now, I think it's not right. We shouldn't even think of traveling because one of other things is it's very expensive. It's super expensive to travel right now. So I can see that the people who traveled to Portugal, they had a lot of plans. They had a lot of expectations, but then it all went down the drain when, number 10 decided, okay, you know what? We're going to put this to AMPA. I feel like they did. Because when you look at the number of cases there and you look at the UK, it's not that big of a difference. But then the UK just decided, you know what, boo, we're just going to make this an amber country. And yeah, I feel like it's a prank. I feel like it's a big prank for them to do that. They're like, okay, psych, y'all better come back home now. don't you ever think sometimes there's someone sitting there doing all these things and making these decisions? Some like it's crazy that some of them would say like if they would do these kind of choices, like they're like, okay, you know what, we're gonna do this. Like that is the very like I don't even know how to explain it, because when you see the decisions that they make, the parliament's decisions, it makes you wonder what is even going on with you guys. What are you even thinking?
Yeah. So true. Yeah.
That is, I know, it's just.
Then of course I'm being kind to the environment as well, because I don't drive a car. I use public transport, or I use my bike. I don't fly, so I'm being kind to the environment.
Yeah. Speaking of, that's a really good thing of you, because speaking of that, it reminds me of the G7 summit is coming up, right, in Cornwall in the next in the next couple of days. And the funny thing is Boris Johnson took a private jet he's going to take a private jet to the G7 summit. It makes the question though, where is the green, the net zero emission target plan that we so-called, in the UK that we're planning to do? What's happening with that?
Yeah, I didn't know that actually, Nick. I didn't know he'd taken a private jet.
He is.
I don't. Oh,
the irony is hard to miss, and his argument.
I don't know what to say about that.
And I love his counter argument with that regards. And his argument is like, anyway, in the future we're planning to go to net zero airplane fuel. So this is the first step. I'm like, what are you even going on about, guy? Do you hear yourself?
Yeah, makes you wonder. Do you remember before the pandemic? I know I keep going on about before the pandemic, but I don't know if you can remember a few years back, you had an actress, Emma Thompson. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson, and she moved to the USA. Like, obviously, to avoid paying British tax on a good salary as such, all the films and everything, So she goes to the USA, but then they're having climate change protests.
Okay.
So she's a firm believer, right? Right, in climate, protecting the environment.
All right.
So she comes over to protest. So she gets on a jumbo jet and flies to the UK. Does her protest, has her 5 minutes of glory on the TV news. Oh, Miss Thompson, you're over here to protest. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I believe in this, I believe in that. Then she goes, litters the place with her takeaway throw cups and what else, plastic bottles, throws them everywhere, where the local council got to clear them all up, And then she gets a chauffeur-driven car back to the airport and flies back to the States in a jumbo jet. How's that saving the environment?
That is, I mean, that in a way, in short, that's very hypocritical, in my opinion.
Very much so. You took the words out of my mouth. Talk about hypocritical. So much so, I flatly refuse to ever watch Love Actually again.
It also reminds me of that one time, I think, was it the COP 24, 25, was it? Which was the one where Greta Thunberg was talking? She made that speech, "How dare you" speech.
I don't know, because as far as Emma Thompson's go, anything with Emma Thompson in, I turn it off out of principle. Still want tonight, Kevin? Oh, was there? Yeah, it's so-and-so. Yeah, who's in it? Oh, Emma Thompson. Well, I'm watching that. What's the matter with you? Nah, she's a bloody hypocrite. I'm not watching hypocrite.
I mean, like I said, it reminds me of that Greta Thunberg, the little girl, the Swedish girl, that activist, environmental activist. So she comes and she says, she talks about on television, she blows up completely. She talks about all these things, that is going on, about the weather and about how dare, you people, your generation ruined my generation. Now we can't have a future because of you, blah, 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 XYZ. The next thing, the very next week, I think, a week or a month later, they see her in her own luxury boat, in a cruise boat, just traveling around. I'm like, wow. You talk about hypocritical. I mean, and their argument is like, I didn't want to do it. My mom and dad wanted to. Like, wow.
Yeah. Throws a fast food carton out on the street. Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyways, and it is actually the time. It's about that time. Today it has been a really fast day today. Yeah, the time is crazy. It's already 3:06, right?
Yep, that's right. Yep. I make it 6:05. Yep.
Yeah, 5:06. So yeah, the time is. Kevin and his watches.
James Bond, is she?
I don't think she is. I think she might star in it though. There is a possibility. She was in Rocky. She was in the Rocky movie. The Sylvester Stallone movie. Yeah, she was in one of those.
Well, if she's in any James Bond films, I won't be watching any more of them. That's talking, isn't it? Yeah.
And on that note, it is about that time we bounce out of here, and it's a wrap on today's show. If you guys have anything you want to say, or you want to tell something to Kevin, hey, hit us up, let us know. 07852-473-473. Also, don't forget, you can download the app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Carry us all day, every day. And with that, we're going to be taking our leave today. My name is Nick, and we are out of here.